And brought to you by Wendy's. You can now get a Baconator any time of day with the Breakfast Baconator. We are live in the Valley of the Sun. 4-2 Sun Devils facing the 2-2 Miners. UTEP has not defeated a Division I team this year, losing by 8 points at Arizona. Their roster filled with transfers, including 7 of their 9 rotation players. Fresno State transfer Bryson Williams earned first-team All-Conference USA honors last year and has a definitive pro game. He came to El Paso to play for Rodney Terry, who was his coach at Fresno State, now in his 3rd year in El Paso. 17 wins last year, a 9-win improvement from his first season. Took over when Tim Floyd, the former USC head coach, retired. Arizona State features 2 of the best freshmen in the nation, Josh Christopher and Marcus Bagley, but Bagley's out for the 3rd consecutive game with the nagging calf injury, so Kamani Lawrence gets the start for the 2nd straight contest. Coached by Bobby Hurley, who has done a superlative job here in Tempe. 6th season, 3 consecutive 20-win seasons, back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. The only Pac-12 school to earn that distinction. They would have gone to the field of 68 last year had March Madness been played. In the preseason coaches poll, pick 2, finished 2nd here in the Conference of Champions. A reminder, Arizona State has never won a Pac-10 or Pac-12 men's basketball title. This should be a highly entertaining game. Both teams want to get up and down, and they have parallels when it comes to the challenges that they're trying to solve heading into conference play. Points in the paint has been a major issue for both teams. And rebounding has been a dilemma for Arizona State. If you go through the numbers for the last 2 games for ASU, when they lost the last time they played on this floor to a very talented ranked opponent in San Diego State, they got pounded in the paint and had that problem in that matchup we alluded to at the outset on Sunday. The local game against Grand Canyon. Not Q. There's that pro game I alluded to for Williams. He goes for 17 points a night.
And the coach keyed in on the fact that Arizona State is having problems with teams in the paint, and they go right to it from the very beginning to establish that early.
That's a promising sign for UTEP because Williams was merely 4 of 13 floor when they played over the weekend in Tucson. Quickly into Jalen Graham, and he's been looking to raise his productivity. He merely had a bucket in that narrow win over Grand Canyon. Deontay Kennedy sends it baseline, unable to hook up with Titus Verhoeven.
It's a real tough pass for Kennedy there. The angle's not really there. He picked up his dribble, so he didn't have the option to take a couple dribbles to get a better angle to make that pass. But good defense by the Devils.
Arizona State has been stellar at home. 40-11 in their last 51 games. Trying to rebound to that loss to San Diego State 6 days ago, in which they had some long periods of time when they just could not buy a bucket. Graham didn't hit anything, and you saw him reach for his shoe a bit. But thankfully, he's okay as he worked his way down the floor. UTEP has a perimeter approach. They're going to look to fire away from distance, and that is more good news for the road team as Williams is finding his early rhythm.
Yeah, and as back-to-back, they went to Jalen Graham to try to get back at Bryson Williams. But guess what happens? He gets the ball on the other end and goes right back to Jalen Graham. Lawrence
has it rims out, trying to make the most of his starting opportunity, and he's just happy to be healthy after all the injuries he's dealt with throughout his career. Boom, leaned into Martin, and finalized.
And that's what he can do. He can put the ball in the basket, and he's going to attack. And I think this Arizona State team, defensively, what they have to do is come with energy. There's not people in the stands, so it's hard to find it. You must find it on your own.
That has been the issue. An intimate crowd, family and friends. Christopher missed, but he made up for it on the other end of the floor. What hops by the Super Frosh.
Yeah, man, so athletic. And, I mean, you just look at his legs. Extremely thick legs, nice, strong legs. But, look, not giving up on the play. Gets above the rim, almost hits his head on the rim to reject that shot.
Martin with the overplay, but he recovers. There is the Oklahoma transfer. Jamal Bieniemy, if the last name is familiar, yes, he is related to that family. Of course, Eric was a star at CU, one of the best running backs in the history of our conference, and undeniably should be a head coach soon, as he has had great success working with Andy Reid in Kansas City. Verge picks up the offensive foul with the push.
That's where I think that Verge just has to slow down and allow Jalen Graham to be able to get there to set the pick so he can come off the pick cleanly and there won't be any offensive fouls in that situation.
Bit of a sluggish start for Arizona State. Conversely, UTEP has had things working for them, but as ASU tries to claw back, defense is going to be a major asset. Lawrence with the steal. Verge looking to create, but excellent defense by Bieniemy, who takes it all the way to the bucket as he gives it off to Kennedy.
And what we're seeing right now is one team is playing with much more effort, much more attention to detail. They're coming out, executing their game plan. They're getting into Arizona State offensively, and conversely on the offensive end for them, they're attacking the rim. They're getting paint touches.
It's an 8-2 surge for UTEP to start the game. Christopher to the lane.
And I tell you, Josh Christopher is at his best when he is attacking. I love him in transition, but when he gets to those elbow situations, like the position where Kobe, Michael Jordan, and Paul Pierce, those guys, great opportunities for him.
Kobe-esque defense there as Christopher knocked it from behind with the help defense on Kennedy. And Arizona State looking to run their offense. Remy Martin knifes in, hands it off to Graham, who has it rolled out.
And that's what I would like to see Remy do a lot more of, is attack the paint. That's what Arizona State has to do. Don't fall in love with the three. The three will be there, but get paint touches to open up lanes for drives and wide open shots.
Well, this one with the tempo we anticipated to start the game. Quality offense on both sides. Bieniemy came in with a gaudy stat as he's able to drop it down. A 17-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Small sample size, but the best in all of college basketball.
And if you're a coach, you love that. A guy that takes care of the basketball, but also can make plays for himself as well.
Christopher setting up Graham, who's working his way to the line. Titus Verhoeven picked up the foul. Well, it was a strong start for UTEP, but Arizona State with the answer. Kennedy went to the goal. Christopher had the reply. State roster. That was a neutral site game at the Pond in Anaheim last time ASU hosted UTEP, December 1983. Steve Patterson on the sidelines for ASU. The legend and Hall of Famer Don Haskins picked up career win number 400 for UTEP, and you can see we're going deep, deep, deep in the historical annals. I pride myself on knowing a lot of minutiae on a Big World Wednesday. I'm not that well versed in the glory of the border conference, but we know these teams had many intense games when Arizona State was in the WAC prior to joining the Pac-8, making it the Pac-10 as Graham cannot complete the three-point play. Brian Weber, Eddie House with you. A pair of schools that rely on the perimeter game as Vuk Vulicic, the freshman from Belgrade, Serbia, has checked into the game for UTEP. They haven't had a true point guard in recent years, and Vulicic is more of a combo guard. Can't knock it down, and Verhoeven unable to pick up the offensive board. But that made the signing of Jamal Bieniemy all the more important because as UTEP was trying to come up with a more successful formula, they realized they needed a prototypical point guard, and that's what Bieniemy has given it. Martin trying to create in the lane, lost it.
Just got a little too deep in the paint that time.
Verhoeven's not much of a scorer, but if you give him a high percentage look like that, he's going to drop it down. The transfer from Duquesne had 8 points against Arizona before fouling out. That matched his best performance as a minor. Holland Woods on the floor now for Arizona State. The Portland State transfer. Plenty of space and time as Graham made his move.
Jalen Graham with great patience in that area. He got deep into the paint. He didn't panic. Spin move, kept his pivot foot, reverse pivot, and jump hook over the big fella. Get the and one. You got to attack him. Bryson Williams has been attacking him on the offensive end. You must go back at him. That sometimes offense is the best defense. And an opportunity perhaps to get Bryson Williams in foul trouble. Although watching UTEP play, Rodney Terry has so much confidence in his senior. He's going to leave him out there even if he gets 2-3 fouls. Some more changes as Graham comes off. Will get a little bit of a rest after the very strong start. Jalen already up to 9 early points. That is well beyond what he typically does. Averages 5 points a game. Chris Austin now playing for the Sun Devils. What a remarkable basketball odyssey he has taken to come to Tempe. At one point was playing NAIA basketball and relegated to the JV squad. Good ball movements here for Verhoeven. Goes lefty. And it's cleared by Tayshaun Cherry, who's into the game. Arizona State looking to take the lead, and you see Christopher sporting those colorful kicks. He's got the fashion sense as well. Remy Martin through the Austin screen. Plenty of time on this sequence. Arizona State patient here with good ball rotation. But Christopher lost it. Excellent defense by Kennedy. Holland Woods is back, and he did his job. That's an offensive foul on Kennedy. And speaking of excellent defense, Holland Woods right there sliding over, understanding there's nowhere for him to go. Let me take this charge. A 2-on-1. That's textbook fast break defense by Holland Woods.
Who knew when he decided to come back to his home state of Arizona, he shined at Apollo High School here in the Phoenix area, was runner-up for High School Player of the Year honors after his terrific career at Portland State. Holland realized that minutes were going to be challenging, given just how deep the Sun Devils team is, but he has been unselfish, and he's been willing to get his teammates involved. Cherry, that's a 3, but unable to find the range. Bieniemy. But a quiet start for Boom, who averages 24 points a game, and there was contact there, no whistle.
I like the pace of UTEP right now. They are getting the ball and pushing the ball up the court, putting pressure on the Arizona State defense. I would like to see Arizona State do that to UTEP because when they're locked in defensively, UTEP, active hands, quick body, quick feet, and it's making it real tough for them offensively. So try to get something quick in transition. Even if they score, just try to get the ball up the court with a lot of time on the shot clock so you can run a lot of options.
Presumably, Rodney Terry wants Boone to get more touches. He averages 14 shots a game and makes his living at the line as well, averaging 8 free throw attempts. Another chance for the Sun Devils to take the lead on this possession. Woods for 3. Rebound, Boom.
You got to give UTEP credit there defensively. Everybody's in gaps. Everybody's stunning, getting back to your man, and they're contesting the shot. And number one thing is close out the possession with the rebound. They're doing that.
Boom. Helped out by the Verhoeven screen. Then whistles in the lane. That's going to be a jump ball. Our officials tonight, Bob Staffen, Chris Rastatter, and Bill Vinovich. Football fans know that name. Bill, a long-time NFL official as well, who has been the referee in 2 Super Bowls.
But with this lineup here with Jalen House and Verge and Holland Woods out on the court, look for them to pick up the pace defensively. You can see that the game should change here. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the guards for UTEP.
Well, with Bill's football background, we know he's going to let the players play, right? No need for the officials to get too assertive. Verge driving baseline, up and under. And that is vintage Alonzo Verge Jr., who was an offensive lifeline in the second half against San Diego State. The primary reason why Arizona State made that comeback, but fell short.
Yeah, he's a guy that can score from anywhere on the court, and he has supreme confidence. So an easy one at the rim is just going to make him get that much more confidence and look for him to try to get going.
Giving ASU the lead. Williams was looking to hook up with another big body as Epi Odiji is into the game, but those teammates were not in sync, and here's an opportunity break coming back the other way. And for the second time, Arizona State draws the charge.
Holland Woods again sacrificing his body to make sure that they get the turnover. And Verge just going baseline. Reverse layup, a little jelly.
Arizona State has rallied to grab a 1-point lead over UTEP, thanks in large measure to what Jalen Graham did before he head to the bench. Graham with 9 early points as Arizona State has played well on both ends of the court, able to draw a pair of early charges, and just as impressively, the ball has been moving. Eddie House's son, Jalen House, into the game, coming off the scoreless performance against Grand Canyon, although he didn't take a shot. His old man would not have gone through that challenge. There's Bird for two. How many games did you play in which you didn't take a shot?
None.
That's the right answer. That was a rhetorical question, but the right answer. If it feels like leather, put it up. Arizona State up 3 as we approach the 10-minute mark. Bieniemy leaning in. Odigi off the baseline, and he's had an interesting career for UTEP. Was a promising freshman, started the majority of the games, and now has been a catalyst with his defensive rebounding. Coming off the bench, he has appeared in the most games on this roster.
And this is the type of offense that I think gets Arizona State in trouble, though. That was a nice pass by Bird where everybody's standing. Even though that was a good it was a finish at the rim, basket was made. The offense wasn't great because only one person touched the ball until Big Fella was able to send it home.
Austin, though, with good recognition, rolled to the goal and had plenty of space to throw it down.
Well, you get 2 on you. This rule of thumb is make the pass. 2 came to him, made the pass down the middle. Guys are sticking to the corners. Easy dunk.
Stepped right into the vacancy. As Verge does such a great job of making sure all his teammates have an opportunity to contribute. We touched on the winding journey for Austin to Arizona State. 2 years at LSU Alexandria. That's an NAI school. At one point was sent down to their JV squad and then transferred to Lee College in Baytown, Texas. Played very well there and caught the eye of Bobby Hurley. International roster for UTEP, including Christian Scholin, the Georgia Tech transfer, sophomore from Norway, rails the 3.
Well, he felt like he had a great look at it, let that thing go, feel confident. Sometimes you don't like to come right into the game and shoot a 3, but if it's your shot and it's open, let that thing fly.
Lawrence got deep but couldn't drop it down. Woods the interception. As momentum has been temporary here, going back and forth. And the whistle comes against Woods as he was trying to get past the double along the sideline.
UTEP is playing the pick and roll extremely aggressive, and I think the guards have to recognize that. That was one of the reasons why Verge was able to find Austin down the middle of the lane, because they are seemingly trapping the pick and roll and being extremely aggressive on it. So you got to make that adjustment.
UTEP picked to finish 9th in a 14-team super conference, Conference USA. Western Kentucky slated to win the conference. Hilltoppers have had 3 consecutive 20-win seasons. 3rd team foul against Arizona State. Austin will come off.
There hasn't been much fouls in this game. They've been letting the guys play. So as a player, you got to understand that and get a little bit more aggressive on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively, setting screens, back screens, flare screens, and pin downs.
Bieniemy, played by Lawrence, elevates. Scholin high for the rebound. Trying to follow up his own miss. And Graham continues to be impactful on both ends of the courts. Verge, 6th man of the year last year in the Pac-12. That was tightly contested, and credit the defense there by Kennedy. But once more, the basketball has been tough to possess. A lot of moments where it's gone back and forth quickly. Bobby Hurley and Guard U have built a foundation for this program that not only has so much depth, but also has a variety of options across the roster, and that's a dilemma for a coach, Eddie, because when you have so many talented players, you got to keep everybody happy with their role.
Yeah, and then also roles have to be carved out and defined.
Good ball movement by House. Martin with a pro move. He leaned into Boom to get the contact, working his way to the line.
And paint touches are important, and that foul right there was off of a paint touch. Jalen House drives baseline, gets it into the paint. The defense collapses. Remy Martin drifts baseline as the baseline drive as you're supposed to do, and he gets an opportunity to get a shot. He gets fouled, and he's going to the line.
So many accolades to talk about for Remy Martin as Boom picks up his first personal foul. His resilience has been terrific this year. Was mortal against Villanova. Only 5 points. Was on bounce back against Houston Baptist the last game we worked together. Did not have his best showing against San Diego State. Held to 9 points and then carried this team on Sunday with a 31-point outing against Grand Canyon, the game-winning shot. He was locked in after halftime with 23 points.
Yeah, he was so huge in that game against GCU. He made every play that Arizona State needed to make. And there at the stretch, he made 3 consecutive shots to make sure that his team is going to win.
ASU picks up the defensive pressure, but UTEP beats it. Oh, that is a gorgeous move by a player who knows how to finish. Boom. Has been quiet in this game, but the numbers are so gaudy that anything less than a dominant half seems like he's not being a factor.
And what I didn't like about that play by Arizona State is that it was too easy. Boom, dribble from beyond the three-point line with no resistance at the rim.
Christopher rejected by ODG. Kennedy matched up with Martin. Dribble. The enemy sets. Can't roll it down. Verge up the floor. Looking for Christopher. Oh, he's rejected by Sholin. What a defensive effort.
It's a great defensive effort by Sholin, but right there, Jalen Graham has to take that charge right there. It was tailor-made for a charge to be made. Sacrifice your body. Holland Woods gave you the blueprint, and the charge is the best play in basketball. It's a turnover and a foul on the player.
Although ODG has a large body. You're right from a basketball sense, but you might want to preserve your own body with a big fella coming your way. An opportunity for redemption for Christopher, and he scores.
And I like how he attacked that time. He went up strong. I thought the last play that he had when he got rejected, he should have went up and tried to dunk it. He has too much athleticism. He has strength. He needs to start attacking that rim in that manner.
Giving ASU the lead. Josh has 4. He averages 16 points a game, number 11 in the conference in scoring. ODG. The kick out. Shot clock hits 10. The enemy lost the handle. That's a deep 3 for Sholin, who's been terrific, but that's a large ask. Well, the ebb and flow of this game has been intriguing. We've seen a little bit of everything, and defense has been a factor with the Sun Devils on top by 1.
Brought to you by T-Mobile.
coaching staff really has to like the defensive tenacity in this game. That had been a bit of a lapse the last two times the Sun Devils took the floor. Boom, that's a three, and he strikes it.
Boom is the word. I mean, right there, get your hand up, Remy. If you don't memo to Remy, this guy can shoot, this guy can score. You got to get into his airspace.
He's got 7 now prior to the shots. Martin, flashing us a smile, is going to the line.
And you got to get into his airspace. You know, that's a late contest. I think you want to make him put the ball on the floor a little bit. He just kind of sides him up, jab step, made Remy drop his hands and just raise over the top.
Beg your pardon, neither team in the bonus, so A-State plays it in. Christopher misses just about everything as he tumbled to the floor. Boom, blows past Cherry, who fouls him.
And you can see what UTEP wants, what they're wanting to do. They get a stop, they're pushing that thing up the floor. And I love to see that because what it does is gives you are able to maximize how much time you have on the offensive end on the shot clock and take advantage of that to get more actions because the defense will break down.
Tayshaun ticketed with his first. Sholin has been an impressive reserve player for UTEP with possession and a 2-point lead. Williams, a three. And although he was not in the vicinity with that shot, you really have to be impressed with what a player who's known Rodney Terry since he was a teenager and went to the Fresno State basketball camp has done in his career. In his 2 years at Fresno State, Williams only attempted 4 3-pointers in 2 seasons, and even though he missed that shot, he's rounded his game into a perimeter threat as well. And I don't know if he's going to make it in the NBA, but he's got a pro game. He's going to get paid to play someplace.
Yeah, and you got to love to see guys who work on their game, who have been told they can't do something, to find a way to be effective with it. But I would like to see him get back in the paint. If you're UTEP, I know the coach would like to see that too because he was having his way down there.
The whistles now coming with more frequency. But you can't blame UTEP for being very mindful of Remy Martin every time he has the ball in his hands. We know he has a limited range as Boom will sit picking up another foul.
He has unlimited range and a fluorescent green light. And those two things, as a player, you love that, knowing that you have the opportunity to go out there and play freely. There's no better feeling than that with the confidence your coach puts in you with that.
Remy, superb at the line, 77%. Last year, 82%. This year, he will graduate this semester. Another terrific part of his decision to come back and play his final year here at Arizona State. Congratulations to Remy and all the graduates this winter semester. He'll get a degree in sociology. The mask is off for Bobby Hurley, and he is pleading his case.
Yeah, salute to Remy and all the graduates, like you said, for getting that done and getting that piece of paper. Very important. And, you know, it's rough. It's hard as a student athlete, but to get it done, very proud of those guys.
Sources close to me report that you picked up your degree recently.
Yes, I did last May. Took a while, but I got there.
It's not the length of the journey. It's all about the destination once you get there. Game tied at 24, 5 minutes to go in this competitive first half. We did not anticipate seeing Christian Agnew play tonight. He's making a season debut and he couldn't score, and that is going to be goaltending. Christopher will pick up the bucket as Williams got it on the way down.
And I think that's when Christopher's at his best, is when he is in transition, because he has strength, he has speed, extreme athleticism. See, he has a good feel for the game. Just know I'm going to out-quick you to the glass, get the ball off the backboard, too late. Bryson Williams just a little too late on the block, off the glass, count the deuce.
Basketball family, one of the reasons why Josh wanted to come to play for Arizona State. Older brother Caleb on this team. Don't forget about their older brother, as the stanchion needs to be adjusted there. Patrick was an all-conference guard at Cal. Third leading scorer in Bears history. Won a conference title in Berkeley in 2010. Then had a brief stint with the Utah Jazz. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge their sister Paris was an outstanding player before injuries ended her career at St. Mary's. So now we have to get things aligned. Looked like the shot clock was a bit askew as well. for Clay Helton's team. That's coming up on Friday in Southern California. Well guarded there as Woods had to make the adjustment and couldn't come up with it.
And I tell you what, Bryson Williams is all over the court, not only on the offensive end. He's contesting things at the rim, and you got to love that because defensively as a guard, you can put a little bit more pressure on. You got a guy back there to clean it up for you.
He was working on Graham, lost the handle. The reversal won't go for Agnew. Another chance for Arizona State to regain the lead. Martin into Graham, who single covered, now draws the double, meaning Christopher wide open for three.
Shot didn't go in, but that's good basketball. Ball hit the paint. You drew two defenders to you. You kicked it out for a wide open shot. Just didn't go down. Good offense.
Kennedy. He loses it. Defense leads to offense. Burns is fouled, working his way to the bucket. It's Agnew picking up the foul. So far, each team has had a reply for the opposition, tied at 26 in Tempe. Most of their final non-conference game tied with UTEP 26-26. Let's check out our Tums-worthy moment of the game, a sequence that exemplifies what Alonzo Verge Jr. means to Arizona State.
So it means everything, and he's always on the attack looking to get his, but also he creates for other people. Averages 16 points here on the year, and you got to look for more of this for Verge in transition. That's when he's at his best. He got two guys that are extremely good in transition. Thank you. Thank you. And the ref coming over here giving us something. What did he say to you?
They're going to keep an eye on the shot clock. If it malfunctions again, they'll turn it off, and we'll go old school. Remember that? There used to be basketball without a shot clock, and the officials will keep the time on the floor. Bob Staffen, our lead official, with Chris Rastetter and Bill Vinovich. Although when you played, shot clock never came into play, right? You personally?
Sometimes. Depending on what the score was.
Alonzo Verge Jr. also could have taken his talents to the NBA, came back for his final year, and he is such an impactful player, as that was fairly obvious, a double dribble for Bieniemy. Although we mentioned the stat coming in, a 17-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He has taken outstanding care of the basketball. So we had Up-tempo hoops to start the game, with Arizona State number 3 in the Pac-12 in scoring at 79.5 points a game. UTEP at 77 points a game. And now we've seen much more of a half-court style. Christopher stepped through. Bobby Hurley wants another goaltend, and that's 2 in this half. Ball was on the cylinder.
Yeah, it's not international rules. You can't take the ball off the rim.
Rodney Terry wanted to travel. Yeah, that was clearly directly above the rim. Agnew got it before it cleared the bucket. Inside 3 minutes to go in this entertaining first half. Isolation for Williams. Goes middle. Bieniemy, that's a 3.
And again, right there, that's good offense by UTEP, but I think bad defense by Arizona State because you allow Bryson Williams to pound the ball 3 times. Once he gets into that second, you have to hit him. You know that he's going to be looking to score, and you got to take him off his sweet spot. Don't let him get so deep into the paint.
UTEP team that lost in Tucson over the weekend by just 8. Burge now feeling it as he's picked up his offensive game.
And that shot was beautiful to me because it was a mid-range jump shot. A lost art in today's game. The mid-range is extremely important. I don't know why more people don't use it.
Lonzo's got 7. A frenetic sequence here. Defensive intensity really has been picked up. Verhoeven steps through.
What a nice move, patience. Take it to the basket, knowing that Jalen Graham is a bouncy guy who's a shot blocker, looking to block shots, get him in the air and finish with the left hand.
That is a block, and the UTEP bench cannot believe it.
And just look at this smooth, pretty play right here. I'm going to go up. Nope. I'm going to scoop it up with my left hand and make it nice and easy for myself.
Verhoeven has 4. He's hit his average. The transfer from Duquesne, Northern California product from Manteca. Christopher could have gone anywhere effectively in college basketball beyond the family connection. Wanting to play for Arizona State to be with his older brother Caleb. He wanted to be coached, and he appreciates that Bobby Hurley spent so much time helping this freshman hone his game.
I mean, he has such a bright future. Athletic, understands the game. Like you said, wants to be coached, wants to be great. And when you get those two combinations together and they come together, something great and special happens. And sky's the limit for this kid.
As a hush comes over the gym. Just friends and family here at Tempe, but we'll take anything that replicates normalcy for atmosphere and hoops. Christopher up to double digits now, leading Arizona with 10 points 90 seconds ago in the first half. Kennedy for 3. Verhoeven the rebound. Bieniemy an open look from the perimeter. Graham's got it as he battles with Verhoeven.
Strong rebound by Jalen Graham there.
Cherry does have a 3-point game, and he banks it in.
Doesn't matter what time it is. The bank is open for Tayshaun Cherry, and he's going to make a deposit for 3.
And he's bounced back after struggling from the outside last year. Just 23% from distance a year ago. Small sample size, but 33% to start this season. Another turnover opportunity for Christopher. And he's got help, but he doesn't need it. All the way to the bucket, and he's going to the line.
And that's what I've been talking about with his explosion, taking the ball to the basket, using your strength. And here's Cherry with the wide open 3. Hits it off glass. Doesn't matter if you call it or not. It goes down, and it counts as 3. But here's Christopher just using his strength, going right through the big fella, using his shoulder, using his body and his athleticism to get the ball up high on the glass and finish it.
Absorbed the contact from Sholin, who picked up his first personal foul. But Arizona State's lead has grown to 8 with a timeout called by UTEP, trying to remain in contact prior to heading into halftime.
And I wonder what right here, what Coach will draw up, probably something going to Bryson Williams again to try to force either he's going to get something or he's been making plays out of the double team and getting deep into the paint. So I expect them to go right to him and play through him. Arizona State must be ready for that.
Well, we anticipated. Another offensive explosion from Boom, but in part because of some foul trouble, he's been held to just 7 points. And that was the real challenge for UTEP in their last game against Arizona. Boom had 16, but he was just 4 of 12 floor. Bryson Williams, another go-to scorer, 10 points. 4 of 13 from the field for Rodney Terry, who was very successful at Fresno State. 3 straight 20-win seasons his last 3 years with appearance in the NCAA tournament prior to coming to UTEP. Keontae Kennedy makes a house call.
Coach had something better than that. Hey, I'm going to go right to Keontae Kennedy and say, hey, play above the rim and put everybody in the basket.
Well, Arizona State has dictated the terms with that run, but Kennedy got it done with style points. That felt like more than just 2 points.
And that was on Christopher and Jalen Graham. Jalen Graham coming over late. Keontae Kennedy telling him, man, you better mind your business. Mind your business or get put in the basket.
Sophomore from Austin. Started his college career at Xavier. Originally headed to TCU in the transfer portal, but chose UTEP and said he was really energized by the redshirt year, and you can get a sense of just how much he savored that moment. Well, this one has been very entertaining with a full array of styles, up and down, up-tempo, some classic basketball in the half-court set, and it'll be a final possession for Arizona State to take the lead into halftime. Martin makes his move at 8. He only has 5 points so far. Contact, and he finishes.
And that was a tough finish right there. And that was his first field goal attempt of the whole half.
So Martin, because he was 5 of 5. heading into this final non-conference matchup for Arizona State, Bobby Hurley was looking for improvement on both ends of the floor, and we've seen it in a well-played first half.
Yeah, we have, and they closed out the half on a 15-7 run, and that included defense getting their hands on a lot of basketballs, turning UTEP over, and then getting out in the open court and getting easy baskets for themselves.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Another dynamic performance by the super freshman, Josh Christopher, with 13 points so far.
Yeah, he's been in attack mode. He's been attacking the basket all game, and sometimes he's got blocked, but the best of them keep attacking. They don't matter. It doesn't matter if you get your shot blocked. You keep going at it, and he's having a fantastic half so far in that game.
And unexpected productivity from Jalen Graham early on.
Yeah, and he started. He set the tone early. He went into paint, got into paint, established himself down in the paint, letting them know all night he's going to be here. He's going to be dominant with a great move here, keeping his pivot foot, reverse pivot, jump hook. He gave him an early spark.
Graham with 9 points, closing in on a career high of 10 points that he matched in the last home game against San Diego State. You can see the numbers reflecting just how blistering both teams have been from the floor. Importantly for Arizona State, getting ready to head back into conference play, plus 12 points in the paint. That's been a major conundrum recently for this guard-oriented offense that clearly knew coming into the year that they would miss the interior presence of Romello White. Inside, working for UTEP, Deontay Kennedy to the rim.
You're watching Pac-12 Network, where champions play. Available on Xfinity.
For their fifth win to start the year, UTEP 2-2, although their victories have come against non-Division I programs like Sul Ross State and UT Permian Basin. As the numbers indicate, it's been a balanced approach for Arizona State. Conversely, the issue for UTEP, Souley Boum, who is a magnificent scorer, leading Conference USA at 24 points a night, only with 7, in part because he picked up his second personal foul with about 8 minutes to go in the first half. And while that Kennedy dunk was electric, UTEP would rather see players like Bryson Williams get more involved. He only has 6 points.
Yeah, he's been dealing with a little foul trouble, too. It's tough as a coach. You got your best two players in foul trouble with 2 fouls and not being able to be as aggressive as they want to be. So we'll see how they come out this half, see if they're playing timid or if they're going to come out and be aggressive and see if he tries to get them established right away.
Well, the beginning of the game was nothing but back and forth, up and down the floor, and then things settled into more of a established half-court set approach for both teams. Verhoeven has had a nice game so far, gives it up to Kennedy, who's looking to get Boom involved. That was a contested three right over Remy Martin.
And that's a replay of what happened in front of Arizona State's bench in the first half, is that he jab step, lulls you to sleep, and then goes over the top. Remy has to get in his airspace.
Boom's only taken 6 shots from the floor. Martin couldn't hang on. Boom, pushing tempo, gets it back, catch and shoot, and now he's raised his productivity.
Being aggressive, coming out, knowing that he's been on the bench, they definitely going to need his scoring punch, and he's coming out trying to put them on his back.
Verge can't drop it down. Boom, as the name suggests, is capable of going off at any time. I'll back it up with a stat in a second. Williams couldn't roll it down. Christopher tries to keep it going from that well-played first half. Verge had it adjusted by Williams. Boom had a huge game against Sul Ross State. I hadn't heard of them either, but I watched that game online. Boom, 34 points, 11 assists, 13 of 13 from the line.
That is a monster game.
Helps that you're playing a D3 school, but the stat still counts. The lead down to 2. UTEP looking to tie or move ahead with this trip. And that was Boom recognizing, leaning in, and working his way to the line.
And Boom just walks right into it again. A late contest, you got to get into his airspace. To what I'm looking at, he loves to just shoot straight up, catch and shoot. He's not really giving you too many dribbles, too many things off. Force him to get to the paint and finish, and see if he can finish.
Well, you don't want him on the line, because last year he was 88% at the stripe, #1 in the conference. This year, 84% to start the season. Started his career staying home in the San Francisco Bay Area, crossed the Bay Bridge to play on the Hilltop for the San Francisco Dons, who had a renaissance as of late. Took Cal to the wire, but lost at Haas Pavilion. And then Terry recruited Boom to El Paso, and he has been a marvelous addition.
And they're on a 9-0 run here in 2 minutes. I mean, and it's been all Boom. He came out, got a 3. Arizona State's going to have to step up their defense.
After ASU had the 8-point lead at halftime. Graham, isolation, working on Williams. Follows his own miss. This time he's going to have to contend with the double team. Lawrence got involved as ASU active on the glass.
Few differences that I'm seeing on the offensive end for both teams. Arizona State is getting a lot of resistance. Shots are contested. They're tough shots. Conversely, over here with UTEP, they're getting the shot that they want. They're comfortable shooting. Arizona State's not making them uncomfortable at all, and they have to try to hunker down and make sure that they do that.
We've seen that repeatedly. Remy triggers the inbounds, gets it back, but he missed from the outside. But that's basketball 101 for Arizona State. Boom, wild. Here comes Alonzo Verge Jr. His own shot is down.
And that's what they have to do. Arizona State has to get stops and then get in transition. Stop playing against a set defense. Let your athletes be athletes. Let them run the lanes and finish at the rim.
Verge with 9 points. He averages 16 a night. Remember, he came off the bench last year for all of his scoring, as he was the Pac-12 sixth man of the year.
Nice crossover dribble right there, and finishes nice with the left hand. Yells A, trying to get the and one, but knowing that Boom has 2 fouls and doesn't want to pick up his third. Great attack, great recognition in transition.
A reminder, Remy Martin has only attempted 2 shots floor, making one of them in the final seconds of the first half. Lawrence open for 3, quickly off to the enemy. And it's evident that UTEP wants to push much more to start the second half. Nifty up and under for Verhoeven.
Verhoeven has a couple of those plays today where he's up and under and finishing with his left at the basket.
Christopher can't get back. It is a power play for Bieniemy, who read it well. 5-on-4 usually is a good differential. And UTEP has come alive to start the second half. They lead by 3 after trailing by 8 at halftime.
UTEP is playing with more sense of urgency right now on both ends of the floor. A great play by Josh Christopher right there, getting to the rim.
First McDonald's All-American to come to Arizona State since James Harden. They wear the same number 13, and we know that Christopher is capable of instant offense. James signing off on that 13 coming down from the rafters. James putting on a jersey last night, and the internet had many observations about his physique. I'll leave it there. I got nothing to say about conditioning at this stage of my life. There's a turnover. And this has been, at times, a very frantic game. Really entertaining. And an ideal test for Arizona State before they navigate their way back to Pac-12 play. Christopher to the goal.
Yo, Dad, come play some ball. You're not my dad.
I'm not your
Pac-12 men's basketball is presented by Pacific Premier Bank, the official bank of the Pac-12, and brought to you by Wendy's. You can now get a Baconator any time of day with the breakfast Baconator. Lights glittering throughout the Valley of the Sun. Both teams shining offensively in the second half, namely UTEP in the midst of a 13-4 run. Bobby Hurley continues to state his case, although Arizona State's been able to get a few calls go their way, specifically with the willingness to use their body to draw charges. It happened twice in the first half. Hurley, one of just 3 active NCAA Division I coaches to be a most outstanding player in a Final Four. Remember, he won a couple titles at Duke playing for Coach K. Juan Dixon and Patrick Ewing, the other 2, if you're wondering. Christopher keeps it going.
That's just, he's extremely talented. You look right there, and there's offensive foul being called, but Christopher just took over with his athleticism, with his high basketball IQ. I'm going to dribble to a spot where I can raise up and knock it down. That's exactly what Arizona State needed. Let's see if they could piggyback off that and get some more energy out here.
Arizona State's had a real penchant for drawing fouls, showing a high basketball IQ, sensing how the officials are calling this game as well. Christopher needs assistance. Sherry for 3. Boom tracks down the long rebound. Boom, the kickouts. Williams splashes the 3.
And as you said, he had been working on that. That wasn't in his game, but he has incorporated that in his game to be able to stretch the floor. What a luxury to have as a coach.
Up to 9 points. He's their second leading scorer. Remy Martin has had a quiet game, but on the weak side, Cherry grabbed it, couldn't put it back. Up the floor, and the throwdown with emphasis for Williams, who was all alone.
And he put Tayshaun Cherry in the basket. Cherry ended up falling. And you look right now, Arizona State are taking threes. They are 1 for 11. But they have plenty of success getting to the paint and finishing at the rim. They need to make sure that they do more of that.
Well, interestingly, Arizona did not hit a three in their win over UTEP over the weekend. Burge has done that repeatedly, and we know how lethal he can be on the drive.
Well, it's important to get to paint, man. You have to get paint touches to collapse the defense. You can't just settle for threes. That's what the D wants you to do, is just jack up a quick shot.
For the third time tonight's goaltender. Well, time now for our next Eva. Amazing connection. Cherry was late getting back defensively. Williams hammered it down.
And there's just no communication on the defensive end. You got 5 Sun Devils back, and you got their best finisher behind all 5 of them. There's no communication on the defensive end, and that's showing. And that's the reason why UTEP is on this run. They came out this second half with so much energy, and Arizona State has yet to match it.
Veteran UTEP team loaded with transfers. Good ball movement. Burge finding Austin. He throws it down.
And no surprise, Brian, that was right off of a paint touch.
And now ASU extending defensively. That could leave Boom open for 3. He does not make him pay. Christopher looking ahead. Pauses. Misses. Rebound, Williams. But what a play by Woods. The presence of mind. He came up with it, and this time Christopher drops it down.
How strong is Josh Christopher? I mean, we're talking about Bryson Williams, who is not a small guy. He's going right through his chest and finishing. Luckily, that wasn't an and one for Bryson Williams.
19 for Christopher. Williams misses. Tayshaun Cherry trying to play aggressive defense. He fouled Titus Verhoeven off the baseline.
I like the energy by Tayshaun Cherry, but not a smart foul there.
And that's his third, so we'll be mindful of that.
Hey, new matchup.
But just look at the strength of Josh Christopher going right through Bryson Williams' chest. That's how you finish. If you're watching at home, that is how you finish on a big man. You go through his chest.
Well-designed inbound sequence. Number 3 hits the 3. Kennedy is true. UTEP has been locked in to start the second half after they trailed by 8 at halftime.
Solid D right now by UTEP.
Christopher off the handle. Steps through, and that's a pro move.
That is a pro move, and he might have got away with a pro walk.
Well, you'll get in the NBA,
yeah,
right?
You will
get that
get
extra half step.
UTEP's bench was hollering for a travel, but good patience by Josh, and sometimes the refs miss it.
Cuts the lead to 1. Christopher up to 21 now. He's been in double digits every game to start his Arizona State career this year. More methodical possession for UTEP with the shot clock at 8. Good look for Kennedy, and he's bailed out by Verhoeven.
And that's been Arizona State's Achilles heel, is getting rebounds, closing out the possession with the rebound. They have been doing a solid job of that tonight, but you got to box out. You can't just turn and look.
Verhoeven with 8 points for the second straight game, matching the best he's ever done wearing a UTEP uniform. Christopher misses. UTEP with a 3-point lead in the basketball, coming up on 11 minutes remaining in this compelling second half. And Boom fouled by Woods, making his move. UTEP flexing their muscle on top of ASU by 3.
When you're building a business, it's easy to find a bank who says all the right things
They'll say they have the products and services you need, and blah, blah, blah. They go on and on saying they'll blah, blah this and blah, blah that. But when it comes time to actually expanding your business, well, that's when you need Pacific Premier Bank. We're completely dedicated to supporting our clients' growth. And that's no blah, blah, blah. Pacific Premier Bank, where business meets opportunity.
Before they're champions, they tell the world a message. They do not back down. They do.
You know basketball history. You know UTEP used to be known as Texas Western. And in 1966, coached by the Hall of Famer, the Bear, Don Haskins, they made history upsetting a heavily favored Kentucky team with the first major college program starting at all African Americans. Starting five with Hall of Famers in the years after, like Tiny Alchabar and Tim Hardaway, the man who popularized the killer crossover.
UTEP two-step. And Tim Hardaway, that was a teammate of mine my rookie season in Miami. Guy I was able to learn a lot from. Run TMC days, they were fun to watch back in the Bay when I grew up.
Well, that was a terrific draft pick by the Warriors to get Hardaway out of UTEP. Miners look to maintain their momentum. Boom got to the paint, and he was met by Graham. Christopher working on a 21-point game. Woods for three. And it comes off to UTEP and Christian Agnew. Another transfer from North Alabama.
You can live with that shot. It was good transition offense.
Williams, he's feeling it now.
And I'll tell you, UTEP will live with that shot too. And Williams, you can tell he's worked on his shot. It's a very nice stroke. With that and his inside game, he has great upside to play professional basketball.
He's got 16. You see the differential from three-point range. Arizona State has only hit one from beyond the arc. But Christopher's been very good with high percentage shots. He's going to the line.
Just confusion on the pick and roll. Jalen Graham staying too long. Jalen House not getting over the pick fast enough to get back into the ball to kick the defender back to the offensive player. So defensively, there's some miscues. There's not communication. And when that's happening out on the court, that is contagious. Bad energy is contagious, just like good energy is contagious. And UTEP is full of good energy. Right now, Arizona State's a little down, and they need to find it.
Verhoeven picking up his second personal foul. Christopher was brilliant in the second game of his college career at the event held in Bubbleville, Mohegan Sun Resort in Connecticut. 28 points against Villanova. Can't get the second, but he's had a big game with 22 points so far and still a half to go. More defensive pressure by Arizona State. UTEP beats it. Kennedy through the Verhoeven screen. Off the baseline. Agnew misses, but gets the fortuitous bounce right back to him. Ball keeps on moving, but Kennedy travels.
Again, offensive rebounds. That it will haunt you in conference play. They got a break there with the travel and the turnover, but you got to close out possessions with the rebound.
And the return to conference play after the conference opening victory on the road at Cal is coming up Tuesday. Utah's coming here to Tempe. Incarnate Word from Texas was on the schedule for Friday. That game will not be played because of a COVID issue for Carson Cunningham's team. Old school Pac-10 fans remember Cunningham when he went to Oregon State and broke Gary Payton's freshman scoring record before traveling back to his home state of Indiana to finish his career at Purdue. Can you tell we did some research on the Carter board, even though that game will not be played? It's UTEP on top by 5, looking to build on their advantage.
And if you just look at UTEP, their cuts are hard. Everything they're doing has speed, has pace. And on the other end, Arizona State doesn't have any of that pace, any of that speed, any of those hard cuts. They're not talking defensively. Right now, UTEP is just totally outplaying Arizona State.
Agnew drawing the foul, getting to the line. Holland Woods picking up his 3rd personal foul. UTEP building their roster with a myriad of transfers. There are positives and negatives to that because you have a shorter relationship with the player, but typically you get someone experienced like Agnew, who started his career at North Alabama.
And another benefit of that is guys coming in all playing extremely hard because there's no roles carved out. You're trying to find your role, so you're doing everything you can to get minutes out on the court.
Well, after Agnew was fouled, he picks up the defensive foul. He was guarding Verge too tightly. If this becomes a free throw shooting contest, Arizona State's about where they were last year, when they were 11th in the conference at the line. 69.5% last year, 69.7 to start this year. But we got a long way to go before that becomes potentially a deciding factor. That is an offensive foul. You saw Christopher trying to get some more space with the free hands.
Yeah, he didn't have to extend there, and he's been strong enough. He doesn't have to extend right there and lower the shoulder as much. He's strong enough to just come to that jump stop and elevate over the top.
Josh picking up his 2nd personal foul. UTEP roaring alive in the second half after they trailed by 8 going into the locker room. In part because Williams has become much more of an offensive presence, hanging with it, and that was all tenacity.
And strength, grown man strength right there. That's a senior versus freshman, and showing you the difference of being a big man down there and being a swing man.
Williams with 18, Agnew to the rim. Bobby Hurley might want to think about a timeout on cue. Timeout Arizona State as the UTEP lead has grown to 10. What a shift we've seen to start this second half. UTEP making defense lead to offensive opportunities on the road here in the Valley of the Sun.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. We started with America's most reliable network, added 5G nationwide for millions of Americans, and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. I'm proud ultra-wideband was named the fastest 5G in the world, but I'm even more proud all that work is going to make a real difference for you. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
A great points. As you can see, they've already duplicated that to start the second half, and Arizona State struggling mightily offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, and I think both ends of the floor, they're struggling. They're having miscues on the defensive end on pick and rolls. They're not communicating. They picked it up here the last couple minutes, but offensively, they're standing around, standing still, not cutting hard. And on the flip side of that, UTEP is doing the total opposite, cutting as hard as they can, making good back screens, down screens, and getting after it defensively.
ASU just 1 of 12 from three-point range. Remy Martin has not done much. However, he's able to engage Bieniemy, who picks up the foul. Remy, coming off that brilliant performance in the win over Grand Canyon, just 7 points, 1 of 3 floor, the rest coming from the line.
Yeah, and right now it doesn't seem like he's himself. He's a little lethargic, you know, for a guy who plays and uses his speed. Not really seeing it much out here today.
And now it's a flurry of whistles. Well, that was just a taste of what's going on. Back with much more, I promise, after this. Floor in the second half. Major component of their 10-point lead over Arizona State. Stay with us. When we're done, we'll take you to Montlake. UW hosting Montana. We'll see if Wade Green, the Kentucky transfer, can build on what he did in that loss to Oregon. 26 points. We'll send it up to, heck yeah, to check in with our pals, Aaron Goldsmith and the coach, PJ Carlissimo, on the call. Eddie, there's still plenty of time, but this feels like an important trip coming out of the timeout for ASU.
Yeah, this is a 3-minute segment that you want to win right here to put yourself in position to win this ball game.
Went to the right player, but Remy Martin couldn't finish. House picks up the foul, and the whistles really have come with more frequency to start the second half.
And to me, that's where it's confusing sometimes as a player, where the refs let you play, and then all of a sudden they start calling ticky-tack fouls and quick fouls on guys, to where now you're kind of in the in-between space, to where you don't know if you want to be aggressive or play off.
Cherry back on. He's got to be mindful that he has 3 personals. Boom with 16 points. Still 8 beneath his average. He's the leading scorer in all of Conference USA hoops. More patience on this sequence. Although the momentary opening was there for Boom, he missed. Here comes Verge. And he went right to Christopher, who gave it up to Austin, who's fouled.
Good play, good attack by Arizona State, getting the ball in the paint again, collapsing the defense, drawing two to you, make the easy basketball play. You look at the clock, it's 7:15 left, you're down by 10. You're not going to get it all back in one play, but it's one stop at a time, one possession at a time.
That is for Hoovin. assessed his third personal foul. Boston is 4 of 10 from the line coming into this game. Because it's family and friends, a real hush comes over the arena. A lot of people looking at me because my voice projects. It wasn't my fault he missed the first one of 2. Coming up on 7 minutes remaining here in the Valley of the Sun.
Such an important 3 minutes of basketball right here for Arizona State.
Trying to get back defensively. They were a bit tardy, but UTEP didn't make them pay. Agnew missed from outside. Martin thought about it. Christopher takes the shot and drains it.
And he's been comfortable all day, all night, getting to his spot. The mid-range jumper. I mean, he has so much talent, so much ability, and if he's able to just keep growing and then extend his shot to the 3 into the NBA 3, I mean, he's going to be tough.
Joshua, 24, approaching his season high. We mentioned that breakout game against Villanova on national TV when he had 28 points in the loss at the Mohegan Sun. Verge draws the foul.
Just good patience, goes to his crossover move, get to the elbow, the mid-range jumper. Bryson Williams understands that he has a quick disadvantage, so he plays off of him. But Christopher, with his high basketball IQ, understands exactly where to get his shot from, raises up, has such a nice shot, and is having a great game. It's the only bright spot right now for me, in my opinion, for Arizona State.
Bieniemy has to sit with the 4 personal fouls. Arizona State with a chance to carve into the lead as the clock stops. Verge 63% line this year, 74% a year ago. And another whistle comes. The officials have gotten a lot more involved in the second half. Not the player Arizona State wants to foul, because Boom is magnificent from the line. We'll take another look at this sequence. Verge got help from Cherry.
And Arizona State, lucky there that there wasn't an and one. I mean, he didn't take another dribble. He was going into a shoot motion, so they caught a break right there.
A reminder, Boom 88% last year. From the line, the best in Conference USA. A UTEP team picked to finish 9th in that 14-team mega conference. Looking like they're capable of much more based on this small sample size. Well, that's a veteran move by Verge, initiating the contact with Agnew, who could not hold his ground.
They get to the free throw line, see one go in, and, with these final 6 minutes, see if you could get hot, get your guys involved and get yourself involved. But to me, really it all starts on the defensive end. It's defensive effort, energy, and that energy usually translates to the offensive end, but it must start on the defensive end if Arizona State wants to make this comeback.
Verge up to a dozen points. Go back to the last time Arizona State played here at Desert Financial Arena. He was remarkable in the second half in that loss to a ranked opponent against San Diego State. 19 points after halftime, finished with 25. And Verge can be simply an explosive player, and Arizona State's going to need that, although they are maintaining contact down 7. What a play by Christopher. The overplay. And he's rewarded quickly to Martin, who misses the 3. Austin can't pull it for the rebound. Williams hands it off to Boone.
Unfortunate for Arizona State, can't capitalize on that turnover right there and that mistake by UTEP.
Christopher goes to the deck. Terrific effort by the freshman. Martin all the way to the bucket, and that's what ASU needs.
Exactly, the defensive effort, and that's Christopher twice on the defensive end, getting steals for his team, diving on the floor for a loose ball. Maybe that's the spark that this team needed to get them going for this next 5.5 minutes to try to get this win.
A freshman setting up the senior. Boom, denied. Martin has help if he wants it. Sherry, a corner 3. Long rebound, corralled by Kennedy.
And I think in that spot right there, Remy Tayshaun is wide open, but Remy had two guys, Verge, who just got a basket, and Christopher trailing. I think you look to get Christopher the ball in that position there.
That's an offensive foul. Williams with the offhands. And who else? Christopher draws the foul.
And look, Christopher just wants to win this game, and he's playing hard. He's not mailing anything in. He's getting after it. Look, getting his hand on the basketball, diving on the floor for a loose ball. Those are the things that sparks your team, man. And if you have to rally, and right here, Remy all the way to the basket for a nice layup. Austin with the screen out to give Remy a clear shot to the rim. They need to score a basket right here.
Christopher has 24. Austin wide open, misses the high percentage shot. With 4:41 to go as things are tightening up in the second half. And that's a shot Austin's got to make.
And it's been the defensive end for Arizona State. They have got them back into this ball game. They must continue that.
Deontay Kennedy, watched by Christopher. Boom, played by Martin. Agnew. Got help from the screen. Austin fouled him en route to the goal.
Pick and roll defense, a little suspect. There's no way that a guy should come off the pick and just have a straight line drive all the way to the basket. Not only is the big supposed to show or give some kind of resistance, there should be somebody standing at the nail that's clogging up that gap that doesn't allow him to go down the gut of your defense and get to the rim.
Austin's second personal. And both teams approaching the double bonus. This is going to be about free throw shooting down the stretch.
And that's a no-show. Austin is there, but he's flat. And if he's flat, there should be somebody standing in the middle of the free throw line where Agnew was shooting it from on the defensive end that's standing there, that's clogging up that gap and not allowing him to get all the way into the teeth of your defense. Those are mental mistakes. Those are mistakes that you cannot allow to happen when you're trying to come back and moving forward. You can't have these things happen.
Agnew with 5 points. UTEP lead back to 7. They trailed by 8 at halftime. Martin with just 9 points, 2 of 6 from the floor. Arizona State 1 of 14 from three-point range. Martin tries to change that trend, but it remains the prevalent number in the game for Arizona State. And UTEP content to work clock here. There was space on the baseline, and that's a veteran move in the blocks. We thought coming in that Williams would have to be locked in for UTEP to have a chance. He's got 18. Christopher looks to answer. Making 20 now for Williams.
And you look at UTEP right there on the change of possession. Williams is leading the run. Nobody's back there with him. Boom, missed him. But I'm looking at the way that these guys are running and getting after it. They just look like they wanted more than Arizona State.
Another nifty move by the All-Conference USA performer. Bryson Williams up to 22 points. The lead 11. Christopher for 3. Williams battled his own teammate, Boom, inside 3 minutes remaining in regulation.
And if you can't make shots, hey, it gets extremely tough. If you can't make shots and you're giving up easy shots on the other end, that's how you end up being down 11 after you cut it to 5.
Arizona State's only shooting 32% in the second half. Say it with me, the back door was open for Verhoeven.
And how many layups, how many easy baskets have we seen UTEP have? And look at how many tough shots, how many hands in the face, how many difficult acrobatic shots that Arizona State have to try to pull off.
And you'll notice Bobby Hurley is letting them play through this. Sports is about problem solving. Austin, weak sides, getting to the line. With 2:17 left, Arizona State needs to ignite a major comeback because Bryson Williams has asserted himself as a grown man with 22 points.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Stay connected with America's largest 5G network.
T-Mobile is upgrading its network at a record pace.
to start just settling for threes just blows my mind.
Certainly does not get any more straightforward for ASU. A reminder, the next time they play will be Tuesday here in Tempe, heading back to Pac-12 play for their second game after the road victory at Cal, hosting the Utah Utes with 35 seconds to go. Woods misses everything.
And that's the kind of night Arizona State has had. You know, that just catches everything right there with how they played. I mean, you look at the body language. And in the second half, it seemed like Coach Terry really must have got into the UTEP players because they came out with such urgency, with determination, and it seemed like Arizona State went the opposite way.
Woods will finish the game presumably 0-4 floor. He didn't score tonight. Arizona State's going to have to regroup because when the Utes come to Tempe, they're going to be mindful of what Alfonso Plummer's been doing for Larry Kristevac's team. Time winding down. Last time Arizona State hosted UTEP was December of 1983. Miners won that game, and they win on the road tonight, picking up their first victory with .8 to go officially against a D1 opponent this year. And they also achieve a split after losing in Tucson on Saturday by 8. So ASU will fall to 4-3, trying to rebound as they return to Pac-12 play. UTEP picks up their third win of the year. They're 3-2.
Yeah, just very disappointing effort from Arizona State. It's mind-blowing that you come out and after a game like GC